Good morning everyone. Today I'm sharing my secrets on night street photography. Wow guys, look at that epic view. This is absolutely magical here. We're in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. And in this episode I want to share with you night photography tips and tricks. We're going to talk about 3 different things. The first one's going to be like kind of settings. So can you set up your camera for different effects at night in the streets? Second one's going to be super short on gear. And then I want to talk to you about actually different concepts, different ideas that you can shoot in the streets at night, because it's a total different world. So let's get down to the street and start. But I have to say, it's always a bit scary to go shoot at night, not just for safety reasons, but your camera is gonna suffer a lot in terms of you're gonna push the dynamic range as much as possible. All right, setting wise, it totally depends on what you're going for. So first of all, if you're going for something very traditional where you want to freeze the action, remember what I said in the first video on street photography. You want to set your minimum shutter speed maybe a bit lower this time because it's nighttime and you don't want to be pushing too much your camera high in the ISO. So maybe 125th of a second might be good, or even lower if you're shooting still subject. Now with that being said, I personally shoot mainly in aperture priority with that minimum shutter speed, or actually at night I shoot a lot in manual, because sometimes when it's not moving, I want to keep my ISO super low, not to introduce too much noise. So I'm gonna have a low ISO and also a slow shutter speed. But if it's not moving, no problem. If it's like food like that that is moving a lot, well, I want to shoot like 250 of a second, which is not going to be a problem, simply because there are so many lights around here. If you're going for long exposure, you know, with the trail of lights of the car, those kind of epic shots, you're gonna be bringing your shutter speed very low. So you want to be shooting in manual and maybe shooting between 5 and 30 seconds really to get all those trails of light. In terms of aperture, for me it's very simple. I go as low as possible, so like 2.8, 1.4 if I can. My goal is to get as much light as possible in the lens, simply because I don't want to crank up the ISO too much. I don't like when it's too grainy, and some cameras really behave badly in low light, so you want to have an aperture as low as possible on your lens. On top of saving your ISO, you also actually get an awesome bokeh, and for me that's always like, I love those buttery smooth bokeh. That's absolutely amazing. Now my last tip on the setting part is going to be like underexpose a little bit, maybe minus 0.3, simply because you want to protect a bit the highlights. Because for example, you see that shop right here behind me, that's actually a print press. When you're gonna shoot it, there is so much difference between the outside, which is really dark, and the inside, which is very bright. If you underexpose a little bit, you're sure not to overexpose the inside. Alright, in terms of gear, before we get right into it, I just want to do a personal plug. My Instagram is somewhere on the screen. Please come and leave me a comment. I really love seeing what you guys create, which is really cool. A lot of your work actually inspire me to keep doing those videos and keep creating. So please make sure you do that. Let's say hi on Instagram and maybe meet up in your city whenever I come around. Now with that being said, in terms of gear, there's one thing and one thing only you should remember, and that one thing is simply at night, and the most important item you're gonna have in your bag is going to be the lens. Now a lot of people might tell you, the gear is not that important. I can tell you, the lens is gonna change everything in night photography in the streets. So what do you want? You want a prime lens, for example, with the smallest aperture possible, something like 1.2, 1.4, 1.8, 2.0, 2.8. Anything below 2.8 is going to be great. There are a few reasons behind that. The first one is you want to be saving your sensor. You don't want to be cranking up your ISO too much to actually preserve it from the noise, have nice and sharp shots without too much grain. Number 2 reason is actually to get what I love, and it's the bokeh, the really buttery smooth background bokeh. At nighttime with lights in the background, it just gets absolutely beautiful and smooth. So now, as I mentioned, you want to shoot at very shallow aperture, and actually this is what a lot of photographers use. For example, the one who do like neon light shots at night, they use a very shallow aperture. That way the neons are very buttery and it just creates a very nice ambience in the background. personally, like any lens like that is my go-to. Right now I'm on the 16-35 2.8. If I could, I would be on 24mm 1.4. I'm telling you, this would be the bomb. Now if you don't have the money for those lenses, 50mm 1.8 will cost you nothing and will do marvels for your photography. Now there is second element in gear, and you guys have asked for it. Quite a few of you have DM'd me and asked me what kind of tripod do I use. Well, big news, revelation, 90% of the time I don't use a tripod. The reason is that it's big, bulky to carry, so this might be the biggest tripod I carry. I have that like 75% of the time in my bag. A bigger tripod, I do take it, but mostly in nature shots. They're super practical whenever you want to do long exposure. But if I'm not doing like pure long exposure in the nature, I'm not taking the big tripod. I'm taking the small one in the city, and there's always a table, ground, something, somewhere where you can put your camera. Also your backpack, just put your backpack on the ground, put your camera on the backpack. That works really well. All right, done with the gear, let's talk about ideas. All right, in terms of ideas, there's so many things you can do. Well, first of all, you can go for the small street with ambient light, where you can shoot, you know, like the dark shadows, people being lit up with just one little light. I really love those shots, they're always great. Now there are also something a bit more modern where people use neon lights, they use the lights that are in the background. This is very trendy right now to get those like portrait shots, so maybe find a friend, get those shots, or if you're really skilled, shoot strangers, but that gets really difficult to get something super nice in my opinion. Another one is basically use reflection. Another one is, wow, I got super scared, I did not hear him come. Hi. Another one is use reflection, guys. It's very simple.
Not too good behind you.
Oh, hi, how are you?
I just pressed for you. Okay?
Alright, another one is use reflection, guys. If it rains and at night on the street, it looks really beautiful because there's a lot of reflection. It's really cool. Yeah, it's a video.
Yeah.
Hi. Where are you from?
China.
China. So, reflection, what was I saying? Alright, reflection, and also play with the bokeh. You've got those small lights in the background, and when you shoot at shallow aperture, it just looks so beautiful. This is something you can really be using in your advantage. Now remember, guys, street photography, and at nighttime is even more, is all about sinking in your environment. What are you going for? Are you going for the small streets, or are you going for the epic shots of the buildings? That's something else you could do. Totally go for it. But remember, try to sink into your environment. If you're going for architecture, like really spend time looking at it. If you're going for the small streets, make sure you just sit here, spend 5 minutes, look at what's happening, what people are doing, and your eye, and train your eye to actually seize those little moments, even without shooting. That's gonna help a lot because you're gonna have an idea of what you want to shoot, and then it's gonna be easier. It's not like daytime where you can just grab the camera and clack, like shoot 200 shots. And they're all gonna be sharp. No, here it gets a lot more tricky, so remember, use the minimum shutter speed, control what you're doing, and you're gonna have a blast. Guys, get out there, go shoot. 99% of your shots might be crap, but go for the 1%, really go for it. In case you're wondering why I had those headphones all the time with me while I was shooting, it's because just before I didn't have too much motivation to get out there and shoot that video. I really wanted to do it, but you know that moment when you're sitting, you're maybe editing, and you're a bit lazy to get out. Well, push through. I put on some awesome music. It really motivated me to get out there and create that video for you guys. So if you liked it, smash the like button, leave me a comment below, share your Instagram with me so we can see what we're creating around here. And also there's this like red button that says SUBSCRIBE, which is subscribe. Make sure you slam that button and hit the notification bell. It's gonna make a huge dong and it's gonna be awesome. You're gonna be notified of the video that I'm sharing, otherwise you will never know. YouTube doesn't push it out as much as in the past, so make sure you hit the notification bell. And guys, thank you so much for being here on the channel. I really love your support and what you guys are sharing with me, so I wouldn't do it if it was not for you. So remember, guys, have an amazing day, get out there, go shoot. And oh wait, I forgot, if you know anyone I should collaborate with, let me know in the comments, and make sure you share that video. It helps a lot, it makes a difference. So I will see you in the next episode. Have an amazing day. Bye.
End of the day, we are safe.
We are human beings. Money never takes you anywhere. The love will take you everywhere. This is my message to the world.
And this is exactly what I was trying to tell you, is stay open, dive into your environment, and also if you're a photographer, if you're taking photos, remember you're here to tell stories. So maybe listen to people who are telling you stories. I just wanted to share with you that awesome story, because it doesn't happen every time, but when it does, it's always very unique. And you never know what life throws at you. So just keep your heart open to new opportunities and don't be shy. Big thanks to Grady and Ben. They helped me get some of those shots and the B-roll you see. So thanks a lot, man.
All right.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Ben. See you in the next episode, guys.
All right.